Hi everyone, in this video we're going to continue with the series on visualization. In addition to regular exercises, you will get a bonus one, so make sure to watch till the end. And if it is the first time you're here, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell not to miss the new content. In the position that you can see on the board, we have a complex and pretty typical setup for isolated queen-pawn pattern. This may arise from different openings. And white is to move. So we may notice some pressure on the king side as well as in the center. We can also see that the knight on e4 is under attack and pinned. So the position is pretty complex and interesting. If you want to use it as a regular exercise, you can pause the video, try to solve it, and then start the video again. And we start the visualization training. So as a quick reminder, I will be dictating the moves. Your task is to imagine the position clearly on each and every move. From time to time, there will be some tasks and questions. Let us get started. So white plays d4, d5 in this position. And black has a choice. So let's start with the following line. Black captures on d5 with the bishop. White also takes on d5 with the bishop. Black responds with a knight takes d5. And white takes on d5 with the rook. And black takes back with the pawn. E takes d5. Try to imagine this position as clearly as you can. Try to understand what's going on there. And try to find white's best move. Now, to simplify the things a bit, let's have a look at this position on the board. So, d5, bishop captures on d5, bishop captures on d5, knight takes on d5, rook takes on d5, e takes on d5. So that's the position. And now, try to find the solution from here. And we continue with the line. So, that goes to f6, check. Bishop captures on f6. Rook takes e8, check. Queen takes e8. And queen captures on f6. Again, try to imagine this position as clearly as you can. And try to explain why it is completely lost for black. And let's just make these moves on the board. Knight to f6, check. Bishop captures f6. Rook takes e8, check. Queen captures rook. And queen takes on f6. Here we go. So there is a threat of a checkmate on g7, as you can see. And there is no proper way for black to prevent it. c1 square is controlled by the bishop, so it's not dangerous for white at all. Something like queen to e1 check doesn't work here because after a simple king to h2 there is no follow-up for black. And there is still the threat of a checkmate on g7. So indeed, in this position, the only proper way to stop white from checkmating black is to play something like queen f8, which is completely lost after a simple bishop takes f8. Now let's get back a bit and look at queen takes d5 after rook takes d5. So here, if queen takes on d5 instead of e d5, knight f6 is still very strong. So after bishop captures on f6 and queen captures on f6, there is again no way that black can prevent a checkmate on g7, so white is winning. Now let's get back to the very beginning and try to visualize another sideline here. So once again, in this position, white plays d5. But in this case, black decides to capture on d5 with the pawn. Try to imagine this position and find the solution for white. After examining the previous line, it should be not that hard. So the solution is d5, e captures d5, knight takes f6, check, bishop takes f6, rook takes e8, queen takes e8, and queen takes f6. So it is basically the same like in previous lines we have discussed. So there is a threat of queen g7 checkmate and there is no proper defense. Let's have a look at it quickly. d5, e takes d5, knight takes f6, bishop takes f6, rook takes e8 check, queen takes e8, and queen takes f6, creating a threat of queen g7, and there is no defense. So now let's get back to d5. So in this position, black also has knight takes e4 option. That is the most complicated continuation. Because in this case, it's clear that if you take on e4, for example, black may consider taking on d5, may wait a bit, so it's definitely not what white wants to get. But here comes very interesting capture on e6, attacking the queen with the rook, and f7 simultaneously, creating a threat of queen takes f7 followed by a checkmate. And black is really in trouble. For example, in a game, black decided just to give up a queen, but it didn't last long because after simple rook takes d8 and rook takes d8 and rook to d1, it's clear that black's compensation is insufficient. So white won the game easily. But what happens if black decides to keep that knight on the board, let's say, and go away somewhere attacking white's queen? Let's have a look at it. So it appears that it's not so simple because the only way to go away somewhere and really protect f7, also attacking the queen, is something like knight to f6. Knight d6 is not really efficient. Basically, it's just the same, pretty much. So here, f7 is being captured. Then king is forced to h8, and white has numerous ways to win the game. The one that looks pretty neat is queen takes f6. And after bishop takes f6, you can take on e8 with either the pawn or a rook, where after you just promote this pawn to, again, the queen or the rook, and it's a checkmate. Game over. So indeed, this d5 is very strong, and it leads to white's decisive advantage. I hope these exercises were useful and you were able to imagine positions clearly. If not, don't get depressed, just repeat these exercises as many times as it's needed to make the process of visualization more efficient. And now let's get to the bonus exercise. So the board is empty, so you have two challenges. The one is to imagine the starting position and then to find the solution, all in your mind. So here we go. White pieces. King is on h6. The knight is on d7. Pawn is on f4. Black pieces. King is on h8. Bishop is on h7, and pawn is on f5. White to move. Good luck with this. Also, don't forget to share your solution in the comments below once you find it. Hope you found this video useful. See you.